US, raised in the US but calls India her home, and by choice. What drove her to build a whole life thousands of kilometers away from her roots, and why she fell in love with all of India. Her stories on India have taken the internet by storm. She tells us all about it in just a few minutes. But before that, by now you all must have heard about the Tesla showroom opening in Delhi, making it a second experience center in India. Their plan is to move city by city, from home charging to supercharging, one city at a time. And even though I'm not a hardcore auto enthusiast, that's an honest confession there, I did get a chance to visit the experience center on its opening day itself. Amid all the hype, all the chaos, let's not forget, let's face it, the hype around this very car is so real. So you're joining me, Kristen Fischer, on the Breakfast Club. We're going to straight away take you through this first-hand experience on the opening day of the showroom and what really I made of this brand new EV entrant in the Indian market. Take a look. Well, in this edition of the Breakfast Club, we've taken you straight to Aero City in the national capital. While you have several corporate offices here, several restaurants here, this is what's come up just now. This is the Tesla New Delhi showroom, the first in Delhi after the Mumbai opening that took place very recently. But yes, this is where you're going to be able to buy the Tesla Model Y, the world's best-selling vehicle in 2023 and 2024. Whether that story is going to repeat itself in India, we'll have to wait it out a little bit. The first set of sales is not begun as yet, but we're talking about two variants so far in India. Remember, the standard variant, which costs about 58 lakh rupees, and then you have the long-range variant, which, remember, is going to cost you about 69 lakh rupees. So that's the range we're looking at, and a lot of excitement really. So we're going to speak to people, we're going to try and understand whether and how soon are they going to go for a Tesla purchase in India, and who do they really think are Tesla's biggest competitors here. If I were to ask you, the first thing that comes to your mind when you look at this car? Luxury, of course.
It's first time come in India, so I think it's a big step that Tesla is taking, especially in EV sector. Before that, we have seen there are a lot of competitors, there are a lot of big brands who have initiated in the EV and trying to do the net zero carbon emission. So it's a big step that Tesla has taken up and coming in India, launching their new car, which was amazing.
60 or 70 lakh rupees on an EV car.
Yeah. If you have extra. So
as of today.
Yeah.
With Tesla in this super competitive market, where do you think it stands right now?
Well, it is catering the premium segment. So that way, I think it will get the advantage of hype and all in the India. And so, because it's catering premium segment, so it will be getting the market also.
Tesla is more for the premium segment, so people really worry about the cost and all. But going forward, EVs in India, I think they are definitely going to get the advantage of large scale of production. And once the costs come down, I think middle class can also afford it at that time. But initially, it's definitely going to be for the premium segment.
Hi there, I'm finally in the Tesla Model Y. Well, the official showroom has opened up in New Delhi, and that's where we are. And now I'm going to quickly take you through the interesting features and what I make of the interiors. Come. Okay, here I am. I do not own an EV, but this is my first experience inside one. That's a Tesla Model Y. I'm going to take you through all the cool features of this car, but first I want to talk about how comfortable this is. Pretty comfortable. The seat features pretty much the same that we all have in our cars. That's how you move up and down, that's how you move back and forth. So that's one. The cool thing is really the fabric here. Look at that, the fine touch, the clean, minimal look. That's what I really like about this car. So there's rarely anything going on here, unlike your regular cars wherein you have your AC vents, etc. Nothing here. All of this is happening inside, and the features I'll get to in just a bit. but that's how it looks like from inside. Very minimal, very few features on the steering wheel, 6 of them, which we'll talk about in just a bit. The storage is great, so I can literally keep my water bottle here, I can keep a couple of tiffin boxes here, you have a holder here, once again storage here. This is where I've kept my phone for wireless charging. That's where you keep the car keys. I've not been allowed to drive this car as yet, else there would have been a car key here. But let me take you inside the car, and we need to take a look at this very cool, approximately 15-inch touchscreen that we have here. So this is the steering wheel I was talking about. I'm gonna ask my video journalist to zoom in a little bit. You see 6 very cool features here, but 6 is all you see. So you have your headlight function here, you have the wiper function here, you have your audio controls here. But this is very cool. If I press this for a while, it leads me to this, and I can move it up and down for some other features. For instance, you know, your brightness can be controlled here, your fan speed can be controlled here, your temperature, which is the air conditioning, can be controlled. And this is basically easy breezy access for the driver, the person driving the vehicle. That's one. A host of other features here, which I think is again very interesting, because that's all this car really is all about. You know, your features, all of them on this one touch screen. You have your dynamics here, controls of course, talks about your mirrors, your steering, if you want to move this up and down, the side mirrors, child lock as well, something you can access here, and then you can access the child lock system here as well. You have charging. This pretty much tells you how much charging is left in your Model Y. Autopilot, not so much of use right now on Indian roads. Lights can be controlled from here. Seats, very cool. So you can basically control the cooling and the heating of the front seats from here, as well as whether or not you want to use the same option for your rear seats. Cooling is not extended to the rear seats, so that's something that I just learned. Your display is something you can access here. This is also very interesting because you pretty much get a few features here as well, including theatre. So you can actually Netflix, YouTube, do all of that here. Tesla tutorials, I think we're gonna all have to go through this in detail. But you have your calendar here, you can do Zoom calls here, and you have your Bluetooth function here. Let's not forget all of that. Maps is also something that you're going to use here as well, apart from climate, wipers, something that you get here as well. Interestingly, this particular touchscreen is very similar except the size. So this is 8 inches, this is 15 inches, but this also offers all of these options. You can control climate, you can also Netflix and watch movies on this as well. All in all, you have some great features going on here. You can also access your driving options, D, neutral, parking, etc. here. So if I long press this, that's another option I have here, apart from of course these functions here. But what really stole the show for me was this panoramic sunroof. Look at how gorgeous that one single piece of glass is. I think that is what is just brilliant and so very wonderful. So yeah, looking forward to driving it now. So yes, this is the first showroom, the Tesla showroom in the national capital, and so we do have a lot of Teslas here already. We've given you a quick tour of what the car looks like from the inside, on the outside as well. Very cool features, a lot of storage at the front, at the back. You have about 8 cameras here. You have 9 speakers inside the car, which also further enhances the whole experience of music in the car. All of those 8 cameras, by the way, very difficult to spot. All of that has been done keeping the aerodynamics in mind. But here's what's very interesting, that's the supercharger there. That's one thing which is being spoken of when it comes to Tesla in India, and how fast this entire infra is going to be built around Tesla sales in the country. That's the supercharger, that's what essentially leads to fast charging. But this is the home charger system. This is what a home charger will look like if you do end up owning a Tesla. We're going to do a little demo here as well. You lift the flap, you go for the charger. I'm going to quickly pull it out, and that's pretty much all it takes. So not difficult at all. The moment it gets dark blue, I do know that I've nailed it at essentially charging the car. And if I want to pull it back, I'm going to have to long press and I will be able to take it out, close the flap and back in the pod. That's actually how easy this is. But the question comes down to how many chargers, how many superchargers, how soon, how easily accessible is it all going to be for the Indian consumer. There are also several other competitors in the market. Do remember there are the BYDs, the BMWs that it's competing with, the Hyundai. There's also Indian competitors. Let's not forget the Tata and Mahindra here that's racing with the Tesla. There's lots being spoken of. I'm going to continuously keep taking feedback on what all of those people who've made it to the showroom are saying about the car, but I'll see you soon. Okay, well, we also do have the test drive planned for you, but perhaps we're going to have to wait it out a little. For now, we shift our focus to more stories from across the country and around the world. The national capital witnessed heavy rain on Tuesday, with the Indian Met Department predicting more showers later in the day. The heavy downpour disrupted the vehicular movement in several parts of Delhi, Noida, Ghaziabad, also Gurugram and Faridabad, as waterlogging hit several arterial roads. The downpour prompted the Delhi Traffic Police to issue advisories warning of delays and urging commuters to use alternate routes. At the Indira Gandhi International Airport as well, authorities issued a weather advisory but confirmed that flight operations remain normal. The top court has directed that all stray dogs in Delhi NCR be picked up within 8 weeks and housed in dedicated dog shelters, which will be set up by concerned authorities. The court instructed municipal bodies to create adequate shelter facilities within the stipulated time frame, ensuring that the canines are removed from public spaces. Air India has announced the suspension of its services between Delhi and Washington, D.C. with effect from 1st of September due to a combination of operational factors to ensure the reliability and integrity of Air India's overall route network. 9 elephants who are set to participate in the Dasara festival were traditionally welcomed at Mysuru Palace. After performing puja, hundreds gathered along the route to witness the beautifully decorated elephants and offer their prayers. In the meanwhile, space scientists have discovered compelling evidence of a giant gas planet in Alpha Centauri, the closest star system to our own, detected by James Webb Space Telescope. The planet lies just 4.5 light years away. While the planet itself is lifeless, experts say it could have moon's capability of supporting life. NASA and the BBC have reported and stated some interesting facts on the same. This is a major step in exploring our cosmic neighborhood. And a dashcam video shows a dramatic lightning strike along a highway in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. This happened on Monday. The lightning strike, as you see on your screens as well, brought down wires and caused power outages, also traffic delays. Mount Pleasant Police Department said in a statement, confirmed all of this on social media as well. The police added it also resulted in officers having to manage traffic for approximately 3 hours at 7 different intersections. Hundreds of Sylhet heroes celebrated the traditional festival of flowers with a vibrant parade. The parade allowed spectators to view the floral creations which have evolved over the years since their mid-20th century beginnings. They carry flower arrangements on their backs to reflect the historical practice of transporting goods. According to the city of Medellin, the parade included 540 Sylhet heroes and was organized with 7 categories. Each category followed specific guidelines, such as traditional category, which requires them to include at least 15 varieties of native flowers from Santa Elena. Adidas has found itself in a cultural appropriation controversy in Mexico after it launched a new line of sandals. Mexican-American designer Willy Chavarria collaborated with Adidas on the Oaxaca slip-on, inspired by indigenous Huarache sandals. However, Mexican critics point out that the sandals make use of the name of the southern Mexican state and the indigenous design while being made in China without crediting indigenous artisans. This has led to allegations of plagiarism and exploitation. Artisans in Oaxaca's Yalalag village say Adidas used their design without their permission, which has harmed their heritage and livelihood. The Mexican government stepped in to mediate the claims against Adidas, and Mexico's president also vowed to protect indigenous communities from cultural exploitation. Speaking of which, Mexico marks International Day of World's Indigenous Peoples with a colorful parade in the capital. Participants donned vibrant traditional attire, as you see on your screens, performed customary dances from their cultures, while bands played indigenous rhythms. Along the route, they shared candy and tequila with spectators lining the streets. The group taking part say the event is significant as it highlights the visibility and importance of indigenous cultures, which form the roots of Mexican heritage. Back home, Sara Ali Khan is celebrating her 30th birthday with her loved ones and millions of fans after making Bollywood debut with the 2018 movie Kedarnath, co-starring Sushant Singh Rajput in the lead role. The actress has been part of a number of blockbuster hits after receiving much appreciation for her role in Anurag Basu's Metro in Dino. Sara Ali Khan has reportedly been roped in for an untitled spy comedy with Ayushmann Khurrana, marking their first collaboration. Tripti Dimri, once hailed as the breakout star of Animal, is facing criticism over recent film choices like Bad News and Vicky Aur Vidya Ka Wo Wala Video. Actor and acting coach Saurabh Sachdev praised her talent but admitted her project selection may have stalled her momentum. He also emphasized that learning to make the right choice is crucial in the actor's journey. An actress, Urvashi Rautela, turned heads at the Mumbai airport as she jetted off to an undisclosed location. Spotted in a striking tiger print flowy dress, black sunglasses and all the glam, the diva also flaunted her luxury accessories, including some that you see on your screen as well. Known for her bold fashion and high-end taste, Urvashi's latest airport look has gone viral on social media once again. Excitement builds for Coolie, the first ever collaboration between Rajnikant and director Lokesh Kanagraj, releasing on the 14th of August. As at a pre-release event, Amir Khan also revealed that he joined the film without even hearing the script, calling it a tribute to the legendary superstar. Expressing deep admiration, Amir also praised Rajni's powerful eyes and heartfelt smile, calling him an inspiration to the entire industry. Martial arts legend Jackie Chan, honored with the Career Leopard Award at the 78th Locarno Film Festival, opened up about Hollywood's declining film quality. During an interactive session, Jackie Chan recalled nearly leaving Hollywood in the early 2000s until Rush Hour changed everything, calling himself a cross-cultural bridge. He credited the film for bridging East and West despite its production challenges. Pop star Ariana Grande made a young cancer warriors day unforgettable by sending a box of Wicked-themed gifts to 9-year-old Bree Bird. Bree, who shares her stage 4 cancer journey online, received plush toys and a pink tumbler from her favorite artist. The heartfelt surprise was shared by Bree on social media, spreading joy and hope to many. Jim Lovell, famed Apollo 13 commander, passed away at 97 on the 7th. His family confirmed the news, and actor Tom Hanks, who portrayed him in the 1995 film, paid his tributes as well. Hanks, in fact, praised Lovell's daring spirit and leadership, calling him a pioneer who inspired many. He wished Lovell a peaceful journey to the stars, honoring his lasting legacy in space exploration. Selena Gomez hosted a star-studded lunch party for Rare Beauty's first ever fragrance line in Santa Monica. The event saw Hollywood celebrities, influencers and reality TV stars in attendance. Notably, members of Love Island USA 7 cast joined the celebration, mingling and posing for photos with Selena. And global superstar Jennifer Lopez faced an unexpected moment in Istanbul when she was reportedly denied entry into a Chanel store at Istane Park Mall. According to media reports, store guards claimed it was full, possibly not recognizing the singer. By the time the staff realized who she was, it was a little too late. The incident since has gone viral. All right, with that, we head into a very quick break. On the other side, as promised, we take you through the voice of an American influencer, mom who's opened up about her life in India and how she loves the country in all its forms and faces. Kristen Fischer's videos have inspired and also sparked a little bit of a debate why she says India is better for her kids, and much more that she's going to share on all her cooking skills in just a bit.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Supreme Court said that all stray dogs in Delhi NCR must be shifted away from the residential localities, and any organization that blocks this exercise will face the strictest action. The top court's significant order comes amid a rise in cases of dog bites in Delhi, leading to rabies deaths. The court noted in its order that the situation is grim and immediate steps need to be taken. The Supreme Court of India surprised all by issuing an order completely against the law of the land and its own previous judgments. SC has directed the complete removal of stray dogs from all public areas in Delhi NCR, including Noida, Ghaziabad and Gurugram, within 8 weeks. This decision comes in response to dog bite incidents causing alarm, including the death of a 6-year-old girl in Delhi. Meanwhile, several people took to streets to object against top court's order. Police detained animal rights activists, rescuers, caregivers and dog lovers protesting in front of India Gate.
देखिए, ये बात सच है। दिल्ली की जनता वर्षों से इस विषय पे परेशान है और सरकार, पिछली सरकारों ने जो किया और नगर निगम में जिस तरीके से काम चल रहा था, हम उन सब के ऊपर लगातार हमारी सरकार बनने के बाद से इन विषयों पे चर्चा करते हुए इसके समाधानों पे वर्कआउट कर ही रहे थे। इसमें माननीय कोर्ट ने जो आदेश दिया है वो भी हमारे लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। हमारा एक ही ध्येय है, दिल्ली की जनता को राहत देना, और दिल्ली की जनता को बड़ा लाभ हम लगातार देने वाले हैं।
पिछले कई सालों में दिल्ली की सरकार ने इस विषय को ध्यान से ही नहीं देखा और आज एक ये गंभीर समस्या बन चुका है। हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट के इस निर्णय को समयबद्ध तरीके से दया, करुणा और मानवता की भावना को साथ में रखते हुए इस निर्णय को लागू करेंगे।
10 लाख जीवों के भविष्य का इस तरह से ऑर्डर दिया है, ये एक बहुत ही दुखदाई बात है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट जिनका काम है जस्टिस डिलीवर करना, वो यहाँ तक कि कोडिफाइड लॉ को ओवररूल कर रहे हैं बिना दूसरी साइड को सुने भी।
मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर का स्वागत करता हूँ, क्योंकि दिल्ली वासियों को बहुत ही कुत्तों से जो स्ट्रे डॉग्स हैं समस्याएं थी, और उसमें हमें लग रहा है कि कहीं ना कहीं कुछ रुकावटें थी जिसकी वजह से जो स्ट्रे डॉग्स हैं डे बाय डे बढ़ रहे थे। मगर अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो ऑर्डर है उसको हम 100% इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे और पूरी तरह से कोशिश करेंगे कि 6 महीने के अंदर 6 हफ्ते के अंदर कि कहीं भी स्ट्रीट डॉग ना नजर आए।
This order has been done and it should be listened to. Right. So what will it mean? It will mean that there are 3 lakh dogs in Delhi. You pick up the 3 lakh and you put them into centers. So first the Delhi government will have to find 1,000 centers. or maybe 2,000 centers, because you can't put so many dogs together, they'll fight. So first they have to find the land for that. Then they have to build within 8 weeks something that will cost a minimum of 4 to 5 crores, because each center will have to have caretakers, feeders, watchmen, right, so that the dogs don't run out. Then they have to find 2,000-3,000 places where nobody lives. So you have to find 3,000 places where nobody lives in Delhi. You will be spending about 10,000 crores, which Delhi government does not have.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Supreme Court said that all stray dogs in Delhi NCR must be shifted away from the residential localities, and any organization that blocks this exercise will face the strictest action. The top court's significant order comes amid a rise in cases of dog bites in Delhi, leading to rabies deaths. The court noted in its order that the situation is grim and immediate steps need to be taken. The Supreme Court of India surprised all by issuing an order completely against the law of the land and its own previous judgments. SC has directed the complete removal of stray dogs from all public areas in Delhi NCR, including Noida, Ghaziabad and Gurugram, within 8 weeks. This decision comes in response to dog bite incidents causing alarm, including the death of a 6-year-old girl in Delhi. Meanwhile, several people took to streets to object against top court's order. Police detained animal rights.
Well, joining me on the Breakfast Club is Kristen. She's an American influencer but carries such an interesting story with her. I am not going to give an introduction to her because Kristen is going to be giving us an introduction in Hindi. So please tell our audiences, tell us more about yourself and namaste.
नमस्ते, थैंक यू फॉर हैविंग मी। मेरा नाम क्रिस्टन है, मैं अमेरिकी हूँ मगर मैं 4 साल से भारत में रह रही हूँ। मैं और मेरी पति की 4 बेटियाँ हैं और हमारी वेब डेवलपमेंट का बिजनेस है।
Wow, that's a lot of great Hindi in one sentence. Kristen, let's begin with your story. You know, husband's running a business in India, but what drew you to India? Why did you decide to settle in India and work from India?
Well, we actually did some traveling when we were first married. One of the places we came was India, and we just fell in love with it here. And we knew we wanted to start our own business one day, and doing some research about it, we found that India is actually a really good place to start business. It's a lot easier for us to come from somewhere like America and start business in India, and we get the added benefit of being able to live in a country that we love and raise our girls here.
Lovely. And this was 2018. 2018 is when you first traveled to India, is that
First
right?
came here in 2017.
2017, lovely. And 2021 is when you finally moved here.
Yep.
Oh, great. Lovely 4 years it's been for you, right?
It's been great.
How's India treating you?
There's a lot to experience here.
Yeah. Okay, Kristen, now, you know, some of your social media reels have gone viral, wherein you're speaking of the things you love the most about India. You're making videos about your cooking time in the kitchen, some lovely Indian cuisines. So tell us a little bit about what you've gathered, the essence of India that's really crawled onto your soul.
Well, I think India actually has some of the best food in the world, and I think we could learn some things about spices in America. But I love Indian food, and yeah, I think learning to cook is a process. I've had a lot of friends teach me some things. I've learned a lot on, you know, internet videos and trying to learn. But we actually made the decision shortly before coming to India to start eating veg, and part of that is, you know, a few months before coming to India, I was like, Indians eat a lot of veg food. I've never made veg food before, so maybe I should learn this skill. And, you know, coming to India, it's actually really easy to be veg here, and doing some research about it, I realized it could actually be a lot better for your health. And it's easy to be veg here because in the US, you have to go out of your way to find veg options. Whereas in India, I feel like more than half the restaurants are veg only. And so anyway, it's just an easy decision.
So tell us a little bit about your favorite dishes and whether you've learned how to cook them.
My favorite is chole bhature.
Wow.
I can't get enough of that one. I have not yet perfected the bhature. Mine are quite sad, but
But rajma chawal, curry, dal, chawal, everything is happening in the
yes.
kitchen?
I'm making all of it. So like choles and rajmas and dals and all these like really great healthy Indian dishes that I honestly had never even had before coming here.
So your family is entirely convinced that Indian food is what we're going to go for, or do you also have the little girls once in a while say, no, we don't like the dal chawal, or we don't like the roti sabzi?
We do a little bit of a mix, you know, the Indian food that I've learned to make and then the American food that I grew up eating, and so our girls have a pretty good understanding of, you know, a mix of both, and I think it works.
I do want to ask you, when you initially decided to move to India and start working from India and actually own a life in a foreign country, what was your family's initial reaction? How are they responding to it? What are they making of your life here?
Well, I actually grew up on the other end of that too. When I was a young child, my family moved around to different countries, and so I knew what it was like to be raised away from your extended family, and so they get it because they were the ones that were dragging us around the world, you know, when I was a child. And my family is so supportive of it. My family's come out to visit multiple times, and in fact, my sister came earlier this year, and the day she arrived back in the States, she was getting online looking for flight tickets on when she can return back to India because she just loved it that much.
Wow. So speaking of India, speaking of the several travel visits you've had to several parts of the country, tell us a little bit about your favorite travel destination so far. I'm sure you've ventured to the north, you've gone to the beaches. What's been your favorite?
One thing I love about India is you have everything. You've got the mountains, you've got the beaches, you've got the deserts, you've got the jungles, you know, and so there's just so much to offer here. Some of our favorite places, we've been to Goa a few times. I love Jaipur. I've been there a couple times, and even going up to Kashmir before, and love just all that, you know, India has to offer.
I've seen a couple of videos, and I also see you really relishing, you know, the jam-packed roads, the buffaloes and the cows that you see on the road, and such an interesting way that you've come about all of those visuals that you're encountering perhaps on a daily basis. What's the story there?
I know not everybody agrees with me. I love the chaos. I love the rickshaws and the bikes and the cows and the people and the dogs and the buses, and I love the noises and the colors and there's nothing boring about being in India. And although some people don't appreciate that, I get that, but I love the chaos. I love everything about it.
Was there a moment when you were deciding on moving to India that you had second thoughts and you were like, this one thing might not work for us, or you know, that might not work for us?
I would say the hardest thing for us to overcome with moving to India, it was a pretty easy decision. There was a lot of things we loved about India, but the one really hard thing we had to have hard conversation with was the air quality here.
Yeah.
And the pollution. And we said, do we really want to raise our daughters in this kind of environment? But you know, I think we did a lot of research and read books on how to manage indoor air quality and stuff, and so I feel like we've come to a good place that we can handle it, and I do think it's something that we could improve on in here in Delhi.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's not manageable.
In fact, on the Breakfast Club, we've had several such important decisions on how, in the long term, we can really overcome this air pollution menace in the national capital, especially. So really, fingers crossed on that. But you're right, there are a lot of people who, in fact, especially peak pollution months, travel to the US, or if they do have an option to stay with their kids in the United States, that's what they opt for. So it's the other way around for you. So that's splendid in itself. Tell us a little bit now about your family. You know, we've seen 4 lovely daughters, 4 little daughters in your family, one of whom is adopted in India. What's the story there? That's such great motivation for everyone who's watching this.
We moved to India with 2 little girls, and now we have 4. So we've gained a good family here in India. But my youngest was actually born here in Delhi, and then we adopted a little girl from India. And this is something that we've always wanted to do. Even before my husband and I were married, we had said, you know, we want to adopt. I don't think adoption is just as a last resort for people who can't have kids. I think adoption can be a choice to make a good life for a child that needs a family. So we already knew we wanted to adopt, even though we can have our own kids. And she has just brought so much joy into our life. You know, people say to us all the time, how could you, give up so much and sacrifice so much for this little girl? And in my mind, I don't think I've given up anything. I think I've gained so much. You know, the amount of joy and what she's brought into our family is nothing compared to, like what we had to give up to go through the adoption.
Adopting a special needs child and with such a big heart, it speaks volumes of where you come from, Kristen. So thank you for being so wonderful. But let's get to the challenges. I'm sure moving to any new place comes with its own set of challenges. You've told us so many things that you love about India. Tell us what you've not liked so much.
I don't love to dwell on the negative. I don't know if it would be the most respectful.
Challenges, maybe.
Challenges, sure. Challenges. Obviously, it's hard to be away from family.
I love how you have to think over it. You've taken a couple of seconds before really talking about it. Yes, go ahead.
Being away from family is hard. I really don't like my kids growing up seeing their grandparents through a screen. Like I would love for them to be with their grandparents, but it's so cool that we live in a world that we can talk to family on the phone and video chat and stuff, and they love coming here to visit. And so I would say that's a big challenge. I look at the emphasis that India has on the family relationship, and sometimes I'm like, I do have my family here, but my mom and dad and my sister are still in the US, and sometimes it's hard to be far from family.
True. I do have my brother in the US, so I completely understand where you're coming from. In India, there is a change we're seeing in terms of people opening up businesses. Entrepreneurship has gone up like anything the last few years. Starting a business in India, how did that turn out for you, and what were the pluses on that side?
Well, it's quite expensive in the US. I mean, I know everywhere has costs and stuff, but coming to India and being able to run our operations out of here, it actually just really makes sense for us, because costs of starting a business are much lower here. And we get the added benefit of being able to live in this country, but we also know that having a lot of our clients are based out of the US, but our employees are based here in India, and it's just a win-win for, I think, everyone.
I loved hearing you speak in Hindi. So whenever you want to respond to me, you should come in and respond in Hindi. Feel free to do that. Tell me about how you found your ways through the daily chores that you have to go about in India. For instance, purchasing vegetables, fruits. How do you talk to the vegetable vendors? Matlab, give us a little bit of Hindi that you pull off there.
I mean, shuru mein mushkil tha, because it was hard in the beginning with, still learning Hindi, and it's a very, very humbling experience to learn a language. But
how much time did that take?
We studied Hindi formally for 15 months here in Delhi.
Okay.
So
15 months is a long time. It took a while.
Yeah, it was long. But I mean, if you were to go to the US, you would have to learn English. So, coming to India, it just makes sense to learn Hindi.
I mean, except English is very much part of our curriculum. So
it's true.
We've not
it's
had
true,
to fight that much. Are your daughters also picking up Hindi?
Yes,
are they being
in fact,
taught Hindi?
Because when we first adopted Nisha, she only knew Hindi. And I was so glad that my daughters actually knew and understood enough Hindi that when we adopted her, they could already be in conversation. They could already be communicating with their daughter or with their sister. And so it was just really cool to see. And my daughter even comes home and she is, reciting things she's learning in school, and she's got an Indian accent in some of the things she's saying. And I just am laughing when the first time she came home and she said, Mommy, I'm thirsty. And it was so cute.
Yeah, lovely. Tell us a little bit, Kristen, about how your experience has been in dealing with people in India. Because there are people of all kinds, all walks of life, and given you're leading a normal life, an everyday life, like I said, purchasing vegetables, going to grocery stores, dealing with people, maybe people who are working in your firm, for instance, your husband, I'm sure, has lots of stories to share with you. How has it been with Indians overall, the experience? Any stories that you recall on top of your head that have stayed with you?
People ask me all the time, like, what's your favorite thing about India? And I immediately always think it's the people. It's the people of India. And I think the hospitality that I've experienced in India is not like anywhere else in the world. Like, I've been to many countries in the world, and India has so much love for guests, and they'll do anything. Like, I have so much trust in like my friends and neighbors that if I asked for anything, they would drop everything and help me. And I can't say the same for, you know, other places in the world. And so I love the people, and I think there's so much to learn from other people. And when you are stuck in, you know, knowing one culture and one people for your whole life, like I just think it's so enriching to, you know, experience the culture and the different family dynamics and the stories that people have to offer.
Were there any cultural shocks? Because I do recall you mentioning a couple of months ago that how is it that people are, you know, they're out late in the night before their meals. Usually people dine and then, you know, they proceed with whatever chilling in the night they have to sort of pull off. How is it the other way around? So any such cultural shocks that have really taken you aback and you've taken a while to wrap your head around?
There's a lot, and still some of them are really hard for me. So one example I think you're referring to is when I was saying going to a friend's house, and you know, you hang out and you do all the talking first. And in India, the meal is the last thing you do. And basically having the meal marks the end of the evening, and that's when people go home. It's exactly the opposite in the US. When somebody comes over, you have the meal first, and you do the chit chat and the hanging out after. And I didn't know that when we first came here, and so I had some awkward interactions when I would invite my neighbors over thinking, oh, I wanna get to know my neighbors, and so I'm gonna invite them over. And to their surprise, they'd come over and I'd have the meal hot and ready. And I would be like, okay, let's sit and eat. And they were like so confused. And I look back to my early days in India, and I just get like, it's cringy sometimes, some of the things that I did not knowing, you know, and people are shocked when they see stuff like our young girls don't sleep in our bed with us, you know, they sleep in their own room. And so there's just cultural differences. Yeah. We've adjusted in a lot of ways, but in other ways we are still very much set in our, you know, American mindset with things.
A lot of that is also changing in India. It's very family dependent. So from one family to the other, you'll see a lot of differences on how these practices really go on. But Kristen, I also want to ask you whether of the experience you've had, 4 years plus a couple of months when you travel to India, would you say that people who say that foreigners are treated as outsiders, or there's a different lens that people typically use when they're engaging with them, you know, when they're here in India, would you say that's wrong of the experience you've had so far?
I mean, yes. I mean, we go out and I think of one experience, we went to the zoo and, you know, we're looking at the animals and, you know, taking pictures of them, and I saw so many people actually taking pictures of my girls. And it's like, you know, they're an attraction when we go out. You know, I have three little blonde girls, and so yeah, people do treat us differently, and but I would say for the most part people treat us much better because we're foreigners, and I think India has a very big pride in wanting to show the best to the outsiders. And so honestly, we've probably seen the best of India because of that.
And if you give them a little bit of your Hindi, I'm sure then they'll be literally all praises for you, because that's a rare sight.
No, the best is when we go to a rickshaw wala or something, and they, you know, give us this crazy high price. And then we say in Hindi, nahi bhaiya, main India mein rehti hu. Kitna hai, you know? And then he's like, oh, and so he backs down.
So you've learned all your bargaining tricks. Be it the rickshaw wala, be it the sabzi wala.
I don't know if I'm the expert, but when they hear the you know, the Hindi that we speak, then they back down and they're like, oh, okay, I guess I can't get the foreigner rate here.
Okay, Kristen, this has been a lovely conversation, but we have to wrap up. Before that, I want you to send out a message to all those who are contemplating on moving to India or how they feel about India. Give us a message in Hindi.
In Hindi, I don't know about that.
Kuch bhi, anything. Just give us last few bye-bye messages.
Well, I would say that it was a tough decision. And, you know, a lot of people can be debating and contemplating, you know, making such a big change and such a big move in their life. But I would say that you never know what's going to be behind that decision and how much satisfaction can come in taking a big step of faith like that. So was, you know, a really good choice for
तो
us.
अगर आप भी सोच रहे हैं इंडिया के बारे में या इंडिया आने के बारे में तो इंडिया पक्का आइए या
पक्का आए, सबसे best decision होगा.
Okay, lovely, Kristen. It was lovely having you. Thank you so much. All the very best.
Thank you for having me.
All right, with that, we shift our focus to Smriti Irani, former Union Minister, is now making a sensational return to television, reprising her iconic role as Tulsi Virani. The queen of Indian soap operas is stepping back into the spotlight nearly 2 decades after redefining Indian prime time with Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi. From Parliament to the living room, it's a full circle moment and fans can't wait, quite frankly. CNN News 18's Anand Narsimhan had this exclusive conversation with Tulsi Virani. Listen in.
So she's conversing with us in between shots, and that it's like second nature. So we're in the dining hall of Shanti Niketan. That's what it is. It's a set, viewers. So it's quite surreal.
For you it is, because you've seen me in both the avatars. So I saw you absolutely gobsmacked behind the monitor.
Yeah, because you're not only dressed as Tulsi Virani, but I've seen Tulsi get into character, you know. So Smriti Irani becomes Tulsi Virani like that in the in a split second when moment they say action. It was a one take shot.
Sounds very ominous.
No, but
it's another human being.
Not just that, another human being. I'm just also asking you: is this second skin to you now? Do you sometimes are the lines blurred between Smriti and Tulsi? That's what I'm asking.
I've tried to play the character as close to the real me as possible, with many obviously changes in how that character responds to certain situations as compared to the real me. So that is why for people who've seen the real me or the political me, it's a bit surreal to see me in this avatar. Because those who have seen me politically only on camera, they know of somebody either who is extremely either angry at an issue or is very verbose on a particular issue. Of late people say that why are you so stoic politically? Those who know me in real life, they know that I'm also somebody with a modicum of sense of humor. So they see the transference of that humor onto the character at times. So yeah, it is surreal for people who watch me. It's surreal for people who know me. It's not.
No, for you?
For you. But for me, it's not.
Is any part of Tulsi part of Smriti Irani?
I think the question has to be asked,
the other way around?
Is Smriti there in Tulsi? What I'm very lucky about, I think, is that there are certain sensibilities that one picks up on the way in one's political or social journey, in one's journey as a family person. The creators, the channel, the platform itself, and we sat together as to how would we like to portray a particular story. We were very mindful of the fact that we want to contextualize it in terms of certain real life experiences that people are having. Today I can very, very positively and with a great sense of modesty say there is nothing on television that can guarantee that they will be played 25 years from now. The fact that we could play out a story 25 years ago and today are very well received speaks a lot about how the character is received as a family person.
So that evolution 25 years later, the audience has also evolved.
Yes.
Somewhere the mindset remains the same. The audience is also evolved.
No, I think that when 25 years ago we played out the story, we took up issues like marital rape. And Anand, if you remember, 25 years ago and even today, it's a very difficult conversation to have. And especially when you're in a one TV setup, in a one TV home where the whole family comes together. It's a sensitive topic to have discussed through a show. We spoke about euthanasia 25 years ago. Even today, it's a difficult conversation to have. Today, you will not find female protagonists who will have a pot shot taken at them about weight, age, looks, about whether they can, withstand being the punching bag and not speak volumes. Also, we've had the male character for the first time speak up on issues like why can't my girl be more educated? Why shouldn't my boys know how to make things around the kitchen?
So you're
And
teaching them to make chai?
Bhajiyas have also been made. Chai has
she made
also
amazing
been
chai for us. We couldn't get that on tape, but it was great chai, and it's actually a real kitchen. Right? It's a set,
is a
viewers.
functional kitchen.
It's a functional
the
kitchen.
fact that we have male actors also contributing to that conversation again is a huge shift, because most male characters on television today are not having those kind of conversations within the family setup that is being imagined for them, or speaking to the viewers. So we have the Mihir character speaking up for the wife, for the daughter, which otherwise traditionally in a soap it was never envisaged.
So you see, there's a lot of movement happening beyond, a lot of people around. There's so much noise. How are you able to concentrate? Or does your stint in politics help you? Or this is something which you're used to doing? There's so much activity happening and you've got to still stay focused.
My political and media life went simultaneously, so there was never either or. The only time where I was linear into politics was the decade that I served as minister. So I'm always, even in my administrative capacity, known to be a speed reader. I mean, even in my administrative capacity or political capacity, known to have great recall value of anything I would read on a file or on a paper. The same is now exhibited here as well. So
this role with Kyunki, and you know, you're driving quite a bit of it behind the scenes too. There is also a real metric. How it's being received by the viewers, what's working,
that
what's
research,
not working.
I mean, we are getting research done on filariasis, on TB, on gender parity, so that is not something that comes to the viewers.
No.
But that definitely informs some of my colleagues when I'm on set.
No, social issues, when I'm saying that when you look at gender parity, when you look at certain aspects which need to be brought to society, is society ready to receive it in the form of communication?
We don't give enough credit to our citizens. They are very well informed. They would like new snippets of information to come through. In fact, we did one scene where there's a fight between Mihir and Tulsi on issues of whether a son who has possibly done an accident and injured somebody should be bailed out. And I told my counterpart, why don't you write that bail is a rule and not an exception, because that's a Supreme Court observation. So my colleague was, seriously? I said, yeah. And it was received well by people.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Supreme Court said that all stray dogs in Delhi NCR must be shifted away from the residential localities, and any organization that blocks this exercise will face the strictest action. The top court's significant order comes amid a rise in cases of dog bites in Delhi, leading to rabies deaths. The court noted in its order that the situation is grim and immediate steps need to be taken. The Supreme Court of India surprised all by issuing an order completely against the law of the land and its own previous judgments. SC has directed the complete removal of stray dogs from all public areas in Delhi NCR, including Noida, Ghaziabad and Gurugram, within 8 weeks. This decision comes in response to dog bite incidents causing alarm, including the death of a 6-year-old girl in Delhi. Meanwhile, several people took to streets to object against top court's order. Police detained animal rights activists, rescuers, caregivers and dog lovers protesting in front of India Gate.
देखिए, ये बात सच है, दिल्ली की जनता वर्षों से इस विषय पे परेशान है और सरकार, पिछली सरकारों ने जो किया और नगर निगम में जिस तरीके से काम चल रहा था, हम उन सब के ऊपर लगातार हमारी सरकार बनने के बाद से इन विषयों पे चर्चा करते हुए इसके समाधानों पे वर्कआउट कर ही रहे थे। इसमें माननीय कोर्ट ने जो आदेश दिया है वो भी हमारे लिए बहुत महत्वपूर्ण है। हमारा एक ही ध्येय है, दिल्ली की जनता को राहत देना और दिल्ली की जनता को बड़ा लाभ हम लगातार देने वाले हैं।
पिछले कई सालों में दिल्ली की सरकार ने इस विषय को ध्यान से ही नहीं देखा और आज एक ये गंभीर समस्या बन चुका है। हम सुप्रीम कोर्ट के इस निर्णय को समयबद्ध तरीके से दया, करुणा और मानवता की भावना को साथ में रखते हुए इस निर्णय को लागू करेंगे।
10 लाख जीवों के भविष्य का इस तरह से ऑर्डर दिया है, ये एक बहुत ही दुखदाई बात है कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट जिनका काम है जस्टिस डिलीवर करना, वो यहाँ तक कि कोडिफाइड लॉ को ओवररूल कर रहे हैं बिना दूसरी साइड को सुने भी।
मैं सुप्रीम कोर्ट के ऑर्डर का स्वागत करता हूं, क्योंकि दिल्ली वासियों को बहुत ही कुत्तों से जो स्ट्रे डॉग्स हैं समस्याएं थी, और उसमें हमें लग रहा है कि कहीं ना कहीं कुछ रुकावटें थी जिसकी वजह से जो स्ट्रे डॉग्स हैं डे बाय डे बढ़ रहे थे। मगर अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट का जो ऑर्डर है उसको हम 100% इम्प्लीमेंट करेंगे और पूरी तरह से कोशिश करेंगे कि 6 महीने के अंदर अंदर, 6 हफ्ते के अंदर अंदर कि कहीं भी स्ट्रीट डॉग ना नजर आए।
This order has been done and it should be listened to. Right. So what will it mean? It will mean that there are 3 lakh dogs in Delhi. You pick up the 3 lakh and you put them into centers. So first the Delhi government will have to find 1,000 centers. Or maybe 2,000 centers, because you can't put so many dogs together. They'll fight. So first they have to find the land for that. Then they have to build within 8 weeks something that will cost a minimum of 4 to 5 crores, because each center will have to have
Welcome back. Now we bring to you a special section on financial markets powered by Money Control Pro, which is Money Control's premium destination for investing in business insights. We first up take a look at markets in particular. GIFT Nifty indicates a stable opening for Indian stock markets. Asian stock markets open higher after US extends tariff deadline for China as well. US stock markets closed marginally lower. Investors are still waiting for the inflation data. Oil prices are rising on optimism about global trade and economy. And now on to a sector in particular. The demand in the hotel industry continues to remain healthy. The industry is seeing firm pricing due to favorable demand-supply dynamics. Higher room rates coupled with better occupancy levels are expected to sustain the growth momentum, and strong expansion pipeline of new key additions has enhanced future visibility. So log into Money Control Pro to find out more about the hotel sector in India and other actionable insights on markets. It is the premier destination for all investing views and financial insights you will ever need, brought to you by Money Control. Okay, that's all we could pack for you in this edition of the Breakfast Club. Hope this was a fast start to your morning. We were the ones to give you a close view of the Tesla Model Y. The showroom is now opened in India. Lots such exciting stories lined up through the rest of the week. So do submit your feedback, give us suggestions on our official website. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 8. Bye.
Brought to you by... This is News 18 Network.